Morning. I'm very lucky today to have Anne with us. Anne is a global fitness presenter, and what she's going to share with us today is a whole raft of stuff which about fitness and I suppose integrating diet and attitude and movement and stuff with food. So absolutely spot on for sensibleeating.net. So let's can you just tell people who are watching this what's your background? How did you get into fitness presenting? So it's strange. I've never met anybody that's fitness presenting before.
Oh, one-off, no. Yeah. My background is I actually had a master's in exercise physiology and sport science.
Right, okay.
And I used to lecture on undergraduate and postgraduate courses at university.
Well, here in the UK?
In Luton, when it was Luton University.
Oh, right.
Now University of something else, Bedfordshire I think it is, in the sport science department. But I focus mainly on health-related fitness.
Okay.
And then special populations such as obesity, chronic heart disease and diabetes and stress.
Ah, okay. Interesting you should say that. On the sensibleeating.net, I mean obviously I'm not, I like to think I'm not obese, but we do have people that are on the programme that are larger, let's say like that, and I know that it is a huge challenge for them to combine, if you like, the fitness side and everything else with what they eat. So if you can just, I know we were talking earlier about meals in general and kind of, we're trying to sort of keep carbohydrates and proteins separate. And I've kind of said to people, you've got to eat yourself slim, because starving is not the way forward, and missing meals isn't the way forward either. From your experience, you just share with us how you see that. I mean, what do you think is kind of a sensible way of moving forward?
I think a lot of people, when they kind of embark on a weight loss program, tend to think I need to cut calories.
Yeah.
And when they cut calories, they seem to think I'm going to cut meals.
Yeah. Logical.
Yeah. So I'll just eat less. Drink less. But what you actually find is that if we cut our meals down, then the body actually thinks it's being starved. So therefore, it goes into preservation mode.
Right.
What happens for a lot of people, say they might miss breakfast.
Yeah.
And they might not feel hungry until about 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right. Okay.
But that's a sign that the body's preserving itself.
Yeah.
We actually want to feel hungry.
Yeah.
Because you have breakfast, and then, by about midday, your tummy starts to rumble again.
Yeah.
And that's a sign that your metabolism is really firing up.
I remember when I spent quite a bit of time out in the Far East, and one of the big problems I had was that I was eating a big breakfast, then I was being taken out for lunch, and then I was out having a dinner, and I was never hungry.
We eat all the time.
And it was like I was missing feeling hungry. I mean, I tell you, I actually skipped to lunch, and I had the first faint signs of hunger by dinner, and I thought, whoa, I've arrived. So I know what you mean. This hunger thing is quite important, isn't it?
It is, and what happens, because the act of eating is a form of activity.
Yeah.
So we want to burn more calories, we need to be more active. And one of the simplest things you can do is actually eat little, but often. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my experience so far on this sensible eating is that I put some plain peeled carrots in some water, and I had terrace or hummus or something, and rather than snacking, I just like had I had that as sort of if I felt hungry, but I was kind of eating very little in terms of calorie content, but I was feeling full up. And another tip someone told me was to, if you're feeling hungry, you can, if it's an hour before dinner, you can have a glass of water or something. It kind of helps to avert that hunger, because the body doesn't know the difference between being thirsty and hungry, something like that.
No, it doesn't. The stomach's just there. There's two main ways that your body tells you you're hungry.
Yeah.
One's because of changes in blood sugar levels, and that happens in the brain. Your brain basically sends out the message.
Yeah.
You need food or you're full.
Yeah.
The other aspect is the actual stomach wall needs to stretch.
Right.
And when it stretches after a certain point, it sends a message to your brain going, whoa, I've had enough.
Yeah.
So two things there. One is that a lot of people eat too quickly.
Yeah, we've touched on that, yeah.
And it takes about 20 minutes for the message to go here, but if you've eaten your meal in 5...
Yeah. You're still hungry.
You're still hungry.
So you tuck into a big fat pudding.
Yes.
And then, oh, hang on, I'm full now.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And if, on the other hand, you're used to that kind of diet, over the years, your stomach has been stretched so much that you actually need more.
So can it work in the other way? If you've got a stretched stomach, can you teach it to be not as stretched, i.e. shrink it?
Yes.
Just by eating less?
Just by eating less more often. So most times when people change the way they eat, they actually think, oh, I'm still hungry. It's because your body needs time to kind of get that.
Get used to it, yeah. Okay, you touched on the preservation mode there, about the body sort of saying if I cut out food, the body says, hang on, maybe I'm not getting as much as I thought I was going to get, so I will hang on to some of this food I've had before, and it stores that as fat, presumably.
Yes.
Right, okay. So that's quite an important point there. So that's kind of like saying we have to eat little often, because then the body kind of gets used to that whole scenario. Okay, in terms of proteins and carbs, what I'm doing is I'm kind of having carbohydrates at lunch, because I feel like, well, if I'm going to eat something that's going to be a slow burn, I've got longer in the day to consume the energy that I'm going to get from that. And I've been eating that with vegetables or something like that. And then in the evening, I've been having some proteins with vegetables again, but not together, not the carbs and the proteins together. Now, I understand that's quite a sensible thing to do. What's your take on when should I eat proteins, when should I eat carbs, or is there any caveats on that?
Generally, the body will recognise calories as calories.
Right.
However, calories and proteins tend to give your brain the message that it's full for longer. So you don't get as hungry as quickly as you would if you ate starchy carbs or even vegetables and things.
Right, okay.
So for someone who isn't particularly active, wants to start to kickstart things and start to lose a little bit of weight, eating little and often, say like 5 times a day, etc., but having some protein with each meal will mean that you actually, you get the feeling, oh, actually, I feel good, rather than I'm starving now and I need to binge, which is what people tend to do. And the general guideline is to have protein, which could be meat. I'm vegetarian, so vegetarian protein, but protein about the size and thickness of your palm.
Okay, some palms are bigger than others.
Yes. But roughly, so if you're going to have a piece of chicken, or whatever it is, it's about a piece of fish, salmon, about the size and thickness of your palm.
Right, okay.
Be a good guide, and you would have that probably in every meal.
Right, okay. So you can have, if we're going to keep carbs and protein separate, just a pile of vegetables with that.
Pile of vegetables, because the calorie content of vegetables is so low. And you can have. It depends on what sauce you put on it, but you can have masses of it. Whereas if you have your breads and pasta and rice, then the calorie content is going to.
Okay. We talked about metabolism and trying to get people's metabolism to kind of speed up. Now, I was talking to a bodybuilder, somebody who's actually looking at bodybuilding body, and they're concentrating on the bigger muscles, because obviously the bigger muscles burn more energy, so that makes sense to build the thigh muscles and biceps, because you're using them, you're going to consume more. But in terms of if someone was like quite big, going out and running a 10k, it's not something that's going to happen. So how can those people start to build up sort of an increased metabolism to sort of help them along the path? The eating's one thing, but obviously doing some activity will speed the whole process up. So what can they do? How can they help themselves?
Just being a little more sensible with the levels of activity that you have.
Right, okay.
So, if you work from home with your home base, then, set your iPhone to bleep and then just run up, jog or walk up and down the stairs several times.
Right.
Put your favourite music on, dance around your living room like a lunatic, or burn calories.
Get a Week Fit or something, or
Week Fit is actually brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. So we have launched Week Fit.
There are other activity games as well.
Yeah, because there's other stuff, movement stuff. So yeah, just you can start doing stuff at home, especially if your self-confidence, isn't that great.
Yeah.
Then just be more active at home. Upstairs, dancing, games, squatting up and down, etc. Just using your body weight. Because the larger you are, you've actually got more weight to shift to carry and move around.
Yeah.
Than someone who's much lighter.
And will that increase their metabolism, so they're more likely to burn fat? Is that how it works?
It will increase your calorie expenditure, your metabolism. Right. There is a difference when you said about talking with the bodybuilder.
Right.
Is that lean muscle
burns
more calories for longer after the exercise period.
Right, okay.
So if you can do some body weight training, just squatting, doing some little baby push-ups even, things like that would definitely help.
So that kind of exercise, I mean, I used to think, rightly or wrongly, that aerobic exercises would be more beneficial at burning calories than actually muscle building. But what you're saying is that muscle building actually is better for you. That's interesting.
Because you want to build the lean, because lean muscle is hungry. And it needs, it needs energy, it needs to be fed, so it will draw.
But I guess you've got to be you've got to have lost a lot of weight to be in a position where either endurance running or where you're burning over a long period or muscle building, it makes sensible practice, because if you're too overweight, then obviously it's going to be a struggle anyway.
It is a struggle, so if you're carrying lots of extra weight, you might need issues, back issues, and other things. I've worked with some people who are morbidly obese, and just the apron of that can weigh 70 odd kilos. So that's a lot of weight to be carrying. So if you expect someone to even just go for a walk around, down the road and back,
it's an effort.
It is an effort. So it's weight training already for you. Because having someone on your back. So any kind of activity, if you are inactive, just walking. I was talking to someone last week here actually, and they were saying that a friend of theirs went to the GP, suffering from stress and suffering from who was a little bit overweight, and the GP actually says, go out and buy yourself a dog. Because he was self-employed, worked from home, he had no excuse to go for a walk. He thought going for a walk was wasting time. If you got a dog, you had to take the dog.
You can't not do it. You have to do it.
So he's being active.
Right.
So it's simple things like that.
And I'm parking now further away from the shops, so I walk a bit further. And I mean, there are things like that you can do. That just, I guess that brings me on to the last subject really, which is about habits. I mean, we get a habit by doing something repetitively, whether it's 20 times or whatever, but that becomes norm, it becomes our comfort zone. And I guess really what we're talking about here is exchanging some old habits and slouching about, not doing anything, with some good habits. And that can relate to both eating and exercise as well. And I mean that's fundamentally what this is about. It is breaking bad habits.
And creating new ones.
And create better ones to replace them.
The general guideline is about 90 days for a new habit to form.
Right.
So you've got to give yourself that time.
77 days we're on. Twice now.
It's still good. It's being consistent with it. And then, in terms of activity, find something you enjoy doing. If you enjoy dancing, then just put the music on, nobody's watching, you pull the curtains down around, and just do that. If you enjoy going for a walk with your dog, then just do that more often. So that's about habit forming on the activity level. On the diet level, dietary changes. When we crave certain things, like if we crave chocolate and things, it's only because our taste buds are used to it and we're kind of addicted to that taste. When we change our diet in terms of what we eat, so we eat more vegetables, plainer foods perhaps, heavy, rich sauces, it it might not taste very nice initially, but it will eventually. If you stick with it, you'll end up craving it. And I come from the Far East, and we love food. And I come from Malaysia, so it's got the curries and rich sauces. Salads are boring for me. You know, I don't like it. However, when I did stick with it, when I did change the way I was eating, you know, I now crave salads.
But that's interesting. But in the Far East, you've got salads, but they're different ingredients. Like there's beans, sprouts, there's different types of pepper, there's different types of vegetables. But it might be warm, but in essence, it's a mixture of stuff which has not got meat in it or fish in it. So it's not a salad in the strict sense of the word salad. But yeah, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think this has been fascinating. I mean, there are so many other things that we could go down as well. There was something that came to my mind a minute ago, but I've completely lost it now. But no, thank you ever so much for spending some time talking to us. And I think there's some great points there, and definitely, you know, maybe a bit later on in the program we'll have another chat, and I can tell you how people are getting on.
That would be really
and you know, we can, and you never know. I mean, some of these people might want to catch you on Twitter or Facebook. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So how can people reach you if they want to talk to you?
I'm on Twitter, full name Nancy Young.
Right.
And then on my website,
Nancy.co.uk. Okay, thanks very much. Fun?